Humor, laughter in the classroom, big.
Oh, for sure. You have to laugh at the kids. I had, this was a few years ago when blonde jokes were going around, and it was really cool. I had a girl that was blonde, and she said that she wanted to tell a blonde joke. So you go, okay, tell the blonde joke. And she said, okay, this blonde got in an elevator, okay, and then she pressed the button. I said, okay, and she said, I forgot the joke. It was so cool. It was so cool. And I didn't laugh, so I deserve an award for that.
Yes, you do.
By the way, this is the Hall of Fame ring that you get for being a National Teachers Hall of Fame. They get 5 a year. And you probably noticed that the diamonds and rubies.
Hold it up. Lots of diamonds and rubies.
Yeah, the
there.
diamonds
yes.
and rubies that the football and the World Series people get didn't find. So that's
Teacher
genuine.
Hall of Fame ring at the 5 and dime. Or is it gold? Do we know?
Yeah, and you don't see 10-karat gold like this all the time. No, sirree.
But Hall of Fame, Teachers Hall of Fame.
It's nice. And
it's nice.
The museum is right by, close to the world's largest ball of twine. So you do have a reference point to find this place.
Just in case.
Yeah.
A good teacher is insightful. That's a no-brainer. Does not discourage original thinking.
No. Don't put stuff on the board. You know, don't decorate your board with A work, because that means that your kids will go up and say, that's an A, so I want to do that. So, you know, I don't know. See, Picasso.
Nothing on your blackboard? Do they probably still don't? They don't have blackboards in schools anymore.
Actually, yeah, a bulletin board has very little on it. It has, like, you know, rules of the school, discipline rules. You know what you have to do before your mom gets called. $10, $20, $30. I sort of changed it a little bit for a teacher retirement fund. But you do those things, and then the key aspect of it is that. And you show demonstration models from last year if it's complex, like the mystery box. You give them some idea because they have to make a material culture artifact. They don't know what that means. So you put a few ups from previous years. But the bottom line is that you end up with a student that is going to look at things inductively or deductively and reach a conclusion. And the answer is always interesting. I always love to see that students did comic books they create, games they create, all learning things. And it's much better than same old, same old.
Number 7, flexibility. Use community as a resource. You do
yeah.
that well. Bring in guest speakers.
Yeah.
When something like 9/11 happens.
Actually, Newsweek came to our classroom when 9/11 had. We did, because what we were doing was a lot of stereotypes get developed by the kids. They only know what they live around. They don't know others. And so we do a lot of role playing and things like that within the context. And it's really quite interesting, the stereotypes that they do have and how easy it is to shatter them.
For diversity, very important. You mentioned in one of your articles that creativity is not just about art and poetry and music. Creativity is about everything around us.
That's right. Sometimes people, when say imagination, they think, you know, in that regard. Picasso did a painting. I think it was called, you know, a woman sitting in a chair, something like that.
Dinah will know. The art curator is over there.
And,
okay, we'll call it that.
Yeah, could be nude descending in a staircase. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, the point was is it didn't look like that. So they asked Picasso. They said, that doesn't look like that. And he said, no, that's what it feels like. That's the emotion that I was trying to capture. So these students who insist on, you know, drawing things the same way, what about the emotion of that? And when they start coloring the emotion, when they go beyond the lines, then you have some really interesting things developed.
Well, the idea that you get a grade for art at all is rather interesting because it's your perception.
Yeah.
Is it your soul on canvas? Whatever it is, if that's what an apple tree looks like to you, well, so be it.
And last year at the Imagination Conference, they had people trying to evaluate creativity in artwork. I have no idea how you do that. Although I know I can't afford the stuff I like.
Right. Well, get started. Unaccepting. A good teacher is unaccepting. And by that you mean good teachers don't accept rote answers, pat answers.
If a student comes up and says, like, this is my answer, I want to know how they got that answer. And when I was teaching in a place called Pickering, at a school for the extremely gifted, one of the students told me an interesting story. When they were doing a test in math, they said, when I do a test, I can't see the answers. She was so smart, she could only see the answers. She had no idea how to do the questions, which was fine. But as soon as tension came in, her mind would stop and she'd be afraid to make a mistake. And so this fear prevented her from doing it. So I worked the whole year on trying to break this fear from her.
Because she wanted to be so perfect.
She wanted to be so perfect.
Wanted to be so perfect. Good teacher is non-conforming, unconforming, so the student is not bored. You mentioned you challenge students, you invent games. So one day is not like the next day, and it's not predictable. And most importantly, a good teacher is a communicator.
Yep. The student must understand totally where you're going. It's called a roadmap. You have a child, even a young child. You put them in the car seat, okay? You give them the Ritalin, whatever it takes. Now they're quiet.
Not anymore.
And then, oh, not anymore. Okay, they caught you. Okay,
change their diet.
So you get to where you're going to go, and then you take them out. Where's the learning experience? Nothing. We're going, how many miles did you go? How many kilometers did you go? How long did it take? What were the streets that you saw? What colors? What sign do you remember? All learning experiences that are possible. And you just need to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. It's really, really fun.
You mean instead of plugging in a video in the back of the van?
Yeah, it's almost obscene to see that.
I bet you ask a lot of questions at the dinner table, don't you, teacher?
Well, I will say this. My wife, who's accompanied me on this journey, said, when we had our child was in preschool, let me rephrase this. When the child was in preschool, the preschool teacher said, bring in your favorite recipe. And so you said, sitting around the dinner table, my son's work was published with all the other recipes, and it said, my mom lets me get 6 chicken McNuggets out of the freezer, puts them in the microwave, and gives me my choice of barbecue or honey. So sitting around the dinner table at our house sometimes is dinner. And my attorney has that letter, by the way. Yes.
And that's very important.
Yes, right.
You learn well.
Document.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Welcome
Thanks
to Vancouver. Let us know when you build on Hornby Island.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alan Haskvitz, putting the I in imagination. He'll be at the Imagination in Education Conference tomorrow at 1:30. Coming up, a tour of the Vancouver Art Gallery stirring exhibition, Raven Traveling, 2 centuries of Haida art. That's creative.
Thank you.